Coming up on Tech Challenge, we take you to the Florida Regional First Robotics Competition, where you will meet Team Resistance and Bucket O' Bolts as they try to live up to their reputations from last year. Hello and welcome to the Florida Regional Robotics Competition, brought to you by a group called FIRST. I'm Brittany Shane, your host.
And I'm reporter Stephen Helmkamp. We're here at the University of Central Florida's arena, where these teams have already ignited a lot of excitement and fun.
Oh, and also learning, not just about math and science, but about teamwork and business.
52 teams are competing, many from Florida, but also from New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and many other states as well. Now these teams have had 6 weeks to build and design 5-foot-tall robots.
They all start at the same time and have to meet very exact specifications, but there's room for creativity and individuality.
So you'll see a lot of different styles here.
But what do they do with these robots?
Well, that's what the 3-day event's all about. They compete in a game.
The game is called Lunacy, and here's how it works.
It's played on a 27 by 54 foot field called the Crater. Alliances of 3 teams, red or blue, are based on each end of the field and control the robots.
Special wheels on the bots moving along the crater surface simulate 1/6 gravity, kind of like the surface of the moon.
Players at corners, also known as payload specialists, launch moon rocks worth 2 points each, which are collected in payload trailers attached to each robot.
Robots glide across the crater, often colliding or trying to block the other alliance. Matches last 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and in the last 20 seconds, teams can exchange a special empty cell for a super cell and a shot at 15 points.
We followed 6 Florida teams, and in this episode, you'll meet 2 of them.
Resistance and Bucket O' Bolts. The Green Ghouls of Team Resistance are ready to go for their 3rd straight victory. That's right, 3rd straight. If they succeed, it will be the first three-peat in competition history. And they really couldn't be any more pumped. Resistance, or Team 86, has named its robot Omer, and can't wait to see how he fares in the game. The team motto is Go Against the Current, and that's certainly what they do with their elaborate face paint and neon green mohawks. Yes, I said mohawks. Resistance has competed against many of the teams here, and has even been allied with some, giving the Green Machine a unique perspective on the game. Both mentors and students work together to give Omer life. This Jacksonville native makes it difficult to ignore its team professionalism and collaborative spirit, making it nearly impossible to resist becoming part of the Neon Green Team 86.
Don't let the name Bucket O' Bolts fool you. This team out of Davenport, Florida is coming off a Rookie of the Year award from 2008 and is out to prove that they have all the right parts to win this year's competition. While other teams have engineering professionals as mentors, this team actually is mentored by their English teacher. Team 2422 has had its hands, or bucket rather, full with fundraising. Through Valentine's Day dances and working concession stands at their high school football games, this team has had one goal in mind: competing here at the Central Florida Regionals. Even though they've had to work hard to bring in the dollars, most of the metal used for their bot has been given to them. But the robot isn't just any old bucket of bolts. Team 2422 says they're sure their robot will measure up to the competition.
We got there early on day 1 to see the teams arrive and unpack their robots.
Oh my goodness. My head's about to explode.
How can you not be excited about this? I remember this. Extension cord.
Upon filing into the area, the teams now get a chance to see how their robots handled the journey to the competition.
Oh, she survived shipping. It survived the kids in the shop. What is shipping?
Well, we've won the regionals for 2 years in a row, so hopefully this year we're going to have a three-peat. And our robot's pretty amazing, so hopefully we're going to win.
Bucket of Bolts had a bucket of problems at the start of day one.
One of our wheels is cracked. We have replacements, but it's going to take time to take everything apart and put them on. Our weight is still an issue. We never have had all of it together at one time. We weighed individual pieces. We know we're pretty close to being overweight, and we don't know what we're going to cut next if we do have to cut anything off. So other than being too heavy, too long, and cracking already, otherwise we're pretty good. Oh, you checked the length? Otherwise we're perfect.
And if we know we can get on the field, and whether or not it moves on the field, that remains to be seen.
Anything that could go wrong will happen to this team.
To ensure all robots are safely constructed and fall within the FIRST guidelines, teams are required to bring their robot to the certified inspectors on site to make sure that they meet the height and weight criteria. Teams may practice on the first day of the event without completing the inspection process, but robots must pass inspection before actually competing in a qualifying match.
So this is our to-do list. To pass inspection, all of these should be checked in. So we're missing our robot signal light, which I just bought for 98 bucks, and now they're trying to figure out how to hook it up. WPA encryption, we actually have. The guys over here are working on that. Our robot weight, obviously, we don't know if we're going to make that yet. Our team number, we're missing on one side. We didn't have this finished because they were welding it right until FedEx came. So all we did was spray paint it, but we didn't bring the spray paint or the numbers, so we'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll bring something if they let us get away with it. We have to put our team name, which somehow we just forgot, and our sponsors. I have a company that is making us little logos that we can attach. They're vinyl stickers, and they just haven't called me back. They weren't finished when I left, so we may end up having to print something off a computer and taping it on the sides.
It's going to be easy fix if they ask us to do it. Power rails, the battery is isolated for a frame, as has been past years, but something in this guy is diode coupling this to the ground. If they catch us on it, we're going to have to pull this off and actually isolate these bolts.
Is that something you guys are really worried about, or do you think you're going to get caught on this?
Once we get out of inspection, we'll know.
All right.
We're not sure if we're going to be able to do really well today, but we're hoping to just be able to get out there, get a couple practicing, get ready to go, and that's pretty much it.
As inspections go on, both of our teams have trouble making weight.
That was the original chassis.
It was the original design, and we modified the design.
Modified it.
We had time to get rid of the weight.
Yeah, there's some extra weight there. And with that,
Yeah, hold on to the plastic, Alex.
As well as resistance, Bucket of Bolts' biggest problem was being overweight. They needed to shave off 20 pounds, quick.
It has to be under 120 this year. 120 this year, Joey? That's our limit? 120? 120. And we were at 140 before we started putting holes in that. We basically replaced anywhere you see this mesh was replaced from solid aluminum.
Even though both Bucket of Bolts and Resistance made it to the practice field, they found out they had more problems to sort through.
With the current adjustments, this will be the first time, but it looks okay from what we've seen in the pits. Before we shipped it, we did a few test runs and it was working pretty well then.
Pretty good. We could do better, but one of our functions sort of didn't work as well as we wanted to, so we'll see how it goes the next round. We're going to make sure that the elevator window doesn't catch, so we can still pick up balls as fast as we were before.
Just hoping it works. This is the first time we got the robot on the field. Should be interesting.
While Resistance was trying to make weight, the problems just kept piling up for Bucket of Bolts.
If you see, the battery just went down from its location. It wasn't secure enough. And it's because we don't have the conveyor belt connected right now. The conveyor belt, once it moves, it makes the metal, like, how do I say, lock itself, and it locks the battery. Since we don't have it on, since we're not running it, the battery is loose right now. By the time we turn it on, and if it doesn't lock it like our theory works, it's gonna be a prime concern. So it depends, it goes two ways.
Back at the pits, Bucket of Bolts explains how their robot is supposed to work.
Ideally, the theory behind it is that it'll run around the arena. Balls will come into the center here. This carpeting here is a conveyor that'll run constantly. The balls will come up through the conveyor, come up to the top here, fall into the hopper. The idea is that we drive up to one of the trailers, and this opens up, and just kind of spits the ball back out into the...
Resistance also had to modify their robot, Omer, to make it more efficient.
They hit, this was a 45 with rollers and belts, and because the bottom of the bin's coming up and you're trying to peel the end ball off and push it up to the top, as it's coming up, it was wedging the balls. So we changed the angle basically to get it to peel that end ball off better, so we could increase our feed speed mostly. It basically took it probably from a ball every 2 seconds or a ball every second and a half up to about a ball and a half a second.
With both teams' robots not functioning correctly, these teams will have some serious work to do this evening to get ready for the start of matches on day 2.
Today I'm pretty confident that we're gonna
He should be here
show our stuff.
in about 10 minutes.
We removed some of the unnecessary framework, like we put in extra parts so that we wouldn't have to use a lot of the steel and aluminum. We changed some of the gears for the motors, and some of the PVC pipe we shortened the length so that it didn't weigh as much. So.
It seems that Team Resistance was able to fix their weight issues and lighten their load for day 2. But what's happening with Bucket of Bolts and their issues that they were having? Steven, what's happening over there?
Yeah, Brittany, I'm here in the pit with Team Bucket of Bolts, and last night during the wee hours of the practice match, their motor fell off. This is definitely going to give them some trouble during their first match today, as it will limit their conveyor belt of the robot. We caught up with Joe earlier as he explained this to us.
We're cutting 2 pieces of this bar, and we're going to place them on opposite ends back here, right by the motor and right at the front, to basically squeeze the battery together so that the battery can't fall out, and that'll solve our problem there.
Going into their first match of the day, Bucket of Bolts hopes that their battery will stay connected.
And they're off. We have 2 robots moving in autonomous mode, 1390 and 79, meeting in the center. Our other robots are motionless. We even have an unattended trailer. Payload specialists taking advantage of those stationary targets. Only 2-3 moon rocks missed during autonomous. 79 looking to get in position for a dump. 1390 playing some mean defense. 1592 hasn't moved yet. 2422 looking to get in position. They drop and miss their moon rock. Meanwhile, payload specialists still firing at some of these stationary goals. Long shots from the red side of the field. That was a blue payload specialist. Not sure what the Blue Alliance can do to catch up. 1390 content to pin 79 in the corner. That sound means supercells are in play. No empty cells have yet been delivered to their payload specialists, but if they do, if robots can deliver those empty cells, they can try to exchange them for supercells, but they only have 5 seconds left to do so. 3, 2, 1, 79 makes the final dump. Looks like they got about half of those balls successfully scored into the blue trailer.
Even though Bucket of Bolts' conveyor belt didn't work, their large size allowed them to pin opponents, helping their team to victory. Resistance hopes to use their size and shooting mechanism to do the same.
All right, here we go in autonomous mode. It looks like we have a couple robots in action. Team 180 was disabled for having firmware issues. 25 running into 1902. 1902 is sitting idle. 386 and 103 spin around. Lots of balls scored. Here we go. A couple more robots in action. Having trouble shooting on the fly. A lot of robots dancing out there. Looking like the choreography from High School Musical or something. I don't know. .386 scoring a couple of their own on 25. Now 1902 looking to get him in tow. Trying to chase him down. 10 seconds left. See if we can get some quick scores. Oh! The payload specialist lands that supercell last second in 1902's bot. almost scoring a second.
After Resistance did well during their first match of day 2, they talked strategy with us.
So yesterday we got our stuff taken care of. Today we're going out there, we're doing good. Actually, we don't really want to annihilate the opponent because we get their score as our qualifying points. And if we get too many points, if we have just a huge lead, it deducts from that. So the whole idea is to beat them, but just barely. If you can beat them by a point, that's optimal.
Okay. Our robot is ugly, but it's all student built. It's really important that the students touch on the robot to get them interested in engineering.
As Resistance debates their strategy back in the pits, Bucket of Bolts is out on the field about to start their next match.
Go!
And they're off in autonomous mode. Quick shot by a blue payload specialist. Nicely done. Red payload specialist getting a couple of moon rocks in also. That's the end of autonomous mode. Pilots step up to their controls. Payload specialist taking lots of shots there. Trying to score into the nearest trailer. Bacon looks like Bacon's got a full hopper. Can they find a Red Alliance trailer? Under a minute to go. Still anybody's match. Bacon deposits an empty shell into the blue player station. Sound means moon rocks are in play. Blue Alliance payload specialist has a moon rock, has a supercell. Here he goes. 5 seconds. A miss for the Blue Alliance. As time expires.
While Bucket of Bolts was doing well in their matches, they were still having issues with their robot.
Right now we just fixed this gearbox right here so that it spins with the motor, and we're going to put the chain back on to get it so that we can drive it again.
As Steven tries to lend a hand to Bucket of Bolts, I decide to get into the spirit of the competition.
I'm getting ready to do my mohawk, and I'm so excited. I'm about to be an honorary member of Team Resistance, and I can't wait.
And to the left.
It's hard to resist this kind of team spirit. I'm actually sitting right here with all the Resistance fans, and I am now an honorary member of Resistance. Go Resistance! You can't resist this kind of team spirit.
And we're off all 6 robots. Even the Red Alliance ones moving in autonomous mode. Making it difficult for those payload specialists to sink moon rocks. 744 cruising around. Their hopper already halfway full thanks to their preloaded moon rocks. Just looking for a home. A Blue Alliance goal. There they go. There goes 179. Nicely done, depositing moon rocks in 744's Red Alliance trailer. Got some nice shooting by this Blue Alliance payload specialist. Well done. Making some nice half-court shots. Another scoring frenzy, 20 seconds left. Supercells are in play, very close match. One supercell might decide it. We have an empty cell now, delivered to a blue payload specialist. Only 5 seconds. 3, 2, shot at the buzzer! But it falls to the floor.
After a few penalties, the score for match 36 was tied. Bucket of Bolts is up next in match 68. Let's see if their modifications throughout the day will pay off.
Okay, now we're ready to begin. 6 robots in autonomous action. Payload specialist taking pot shots at those goals. Big tangle in the center of the field as we begin driver period. interesting strategies being used. 1875 lining up on that red robot. They want to get those moon rocks into that goal. That sound means that the supercells are now in play. 10 seconds left. And the miss. One supercell in play. Cause miss all the way across the field. Almost making it.
A combination of strong alliances and a good defensive strategy has Team Bucket of Bolts in 22nd place, while Resistance started strong but fell behind to 39.
Well, I think everyone has green fever, but will Team Spirit and a lighter robot be enough to get Team Resistance to the finals?
So far, Bucket of Bolts has had a couple of loose screws, but they're confident they know what to tighten up to make it to the finals.
Join us next time to see if Crunch will take a bite out of the competition.
And to see if Team Pink will live up to all the hype.
Plus, see who makes it to the finals. For Stephen Helmkamp, I'm Brittany Shade. We'll see you next time.